Welcome to a GoldenEye Wii gameplay on the channel. There is a reason why I am including GoldenEye Wii gameplay in the background of this video, and that is in terms of the topic that I will be talking about in this video, and that is the fact that first person shooters need to come out for the Switch. It will be a massive disappointment if we don't see any first person shooters that do take advantage of the Joy-Cons on the Switch. If we go through the whole generation and not get games like we had on the Wii, like GoldenEye, like Call of Duty, and like the Conduit, where it did take advantage of the Wii remote pointer. If we don't see that sort of stuff on the Switch, then it will just be a massive disappointment for me. So for me, first person shooters need to come out for the Switch, and it would be interesting to see what sort of thing they could do with first person shooters with the upgraded motion control that the Switch does offer. So for, so like if you do have like dual wield pistols or like dual wield weapons, then maybe you can have, your left Joy-Con controlling your left weapon, your right Joy-Con controlling your right weapon. That's just an idea that I've got in my head, and it would be pretty cool to see that happen. So I would love to see first person shooters come out for the Wii, for the Switch I should say, and if that did happen, then the Switch would feel like the Wii HD that I've always wanted. I pretty much, going into the Wii U, wanted a HD system that has a upgraded motion control system. So I basically wanted an upgraded Wii Remote and Nunchuck, and that is what the Joy-Cons are. They are an upgraded Wii Remote and Nunchuck, just because you have motion controls in both of the controllers and not just one of them, and plus they have the same buttons as one another. You don't have a controller like the Nunchuck which has less buttons than the Wii Remote. So the Joy-Cons do, they are better than the Wii Remote and Nunchuck. So if the Switch is, obviously, if it does have first person shooters on there, obviously they're going to be in HD. So for me, it's going to make the Switch feel like a Wii, 2.0 even more, and that is a good thing. We've got stuff like ARMS, which made me feel like, I was back in the Wii again. It made me feel like this is a Wii successor. For me, it feels like this is what the Wii U should have been. And if first person shooters did come out for the Switch, then it would just, strengthen that for even more. If it did get some of the games that were on Wii, or if it did get some of the gameplay experiences like first person shooters that were on the Wii, then it would just make me feel like the Switch is what the Wii U should have been. The Switch is the Wii successor that we deserve, pretty much, and it's definitely the Wii successor that I always wanted. So I definitely want to see first person shooters come out for the Switch, and obviously they need to take advantage of the motion control, and they need to take advantage of the IR camera as well. So I would love to see that happen, and of course if that does happen, I'll be all over it like a flipping rash. Seriously, you're going to see me get flipping hyped for it. I've got an idea for a MI5 or MI6 sort of game, sort of like James Bond. I'd love to see James Bond return for the Switch, and sort of like GoldenEye Wii, how it does take advantage of motion control and pointer control. I'd just love that to happen, as well as Call of Duty returning for a Nintendo system again, and again taking advantage of the motion control. But I feel like for that to happen, I feel like the Switch needs to sell well. So for us to get first person shooter experiences like what we had with the Wii, then it's going to have to sell like the Wii, or it's going to have to sell well, pretty much. I feel like part of the reason why we did get gameplay experiences like GoldenEye, like Conduit, and like Call of Duty is because the Wii sold really well. So it was hard for third parties to ignore bringing those sort of gameplay experiences over to the Wii. Hopefully the same thing will happen with the Switch, where the Switch will sell really well, and these third party devs have to create these sort of gameplay experiences to try and get a piece of that pie. So yeah, I'll be massively disappointed if we don't see first-person shooters on the Switch that do take advantage of the Switch Joy-Cons, the motion control in the Joy-Cons as well as the pointer in the Joy-Cons. And the case can be made for Metroid Prime 4. If Metroid, or if a new Metroid game comes out and it doesn't take advantage of the Joy-Cons, then that'll just be a massive letdown. So yeah, the Switch for me needs first person shooter experiences, and yeah, I'll just buy that game day one if we did see those sort of experiences on the Switch. If we pretty much saw what we saw with the Wii but in HD, then I'll be happy with that. If we saw like a Conduit, or if we saw like Call of Duty, or like a James Bond sort of experience, or like a typical first person shooter that does take advantage of the Joy-Cons, then that'll just be, oh my god, I'll just love that. I really love that. Really would. So I really want that to happen. The Wiimote and Nunchuck for me is the best controller for a first person shooter on console. And that for me is about to change. I think that will change with the Joy-Cons. So devs, please take advantage of the Joy-Cons with a first person shooter experience like what we saw on the Wii. Like I said before, I'll go flipping mental for that sort of experience. I really would. I put in 500 hours into Black Ops 2 just because that was the first HD Call of Duty game that I played. It was the first Call of Duty game where I didn't miss out on kill streaks. And I put in about 30 days into GoldenEye 007 Wii, and yeah, I'll pretty much do the same if we did get a first person shooter experience like what we had on the Wii. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section below. Do you think this will happen? I think this is unlikely, unfortunately. I think the only way we will get this experience is if the Switch sells really well. But I don't think third parties will do it unless the Switch, doesn't sell well. I think we will have to rely on indies to provide that sort of experience, and I think that is an experience that probably is too expensive to make for indie devs. So yeah, I just want to see a first person shooter experience like what we had on the Wii. I think the Switch is made for that. It really is. And yeah, like I said, I'll be disappointed if we don't see experiences like we had on the Wii. One more thing I want to add before I do end this video is that if the Switch did get first person shooters, then it would help to broaden its demographic. I definitely feel like first person shooters would appeal to people that might not necessarily pick up a Nintendo system, or may not be interested in Nintendo games. Having first person shooters may help to broaden the Switch demographic, but I don't think we will see those sort of experiences from Nintendo themselves. Maybe the outlier to that rule is a brand new Metroid game. Maybe we will see a Metroid game in the same vein as Metroid Prime, and maybe then we will see a first person shooter experience kind of like what we had with the Wii, although Metroid is a first person adventure more than a first person shooter. So I think we are relying on third parties to make that sort of experience what we saw on the Wii, but would they be willing to do it? It all depends on whether the Switch sells well, and even if it does sell well, I could just see third parties saying, you know what, it takes too much effort to make a version of our game that is using a unique control scheme. We've seen it with Dirt 4. Codemasters said that it would take too much work to get it to work on, just a single Joy-Con. Maybe, developers making first-person shooters will say the same thing. So if we do get first-person shooters on the Switch, then I think we probably will just get, typical controls like Pro Controller support, Joy-Con support, but without the motion. So I think that is probably going to happen, but maybe if the Switch does sell well, then maybe we will get those sort of experiences like what we saw on the Wii. And yeah, like I said many times throughout this video, that would just be a flipping dream for me. It really would. So definitely, if I can get my words out, I can't even flip and speak. I can't even speak. Well, I can't flip and say the word definitely, but I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say about this in the comment section below. Would you want to see first-person shooters on the Switch that do take advantage of the motion controls that we do have in both sets of Joy-Cons? And do you think that will happen? So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. But for the moment, that is it for this video, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.